All right, baby boy update. Oh, they're napping. Look, they're napping. They're quiet for once. You guys are now. Oh, good morning. It's not morning, it's afternoon. Were you having a siesta? All right. So these two, they've been in the buck pen now since Sunday. Today's Thursday. So 4 days. And as of last night, they were still rather vocal. As I was walking down to the barn from the house, which was all of, let's call it 15 minutes ago, I could hear them calling and talking and hollering. But now they've settled down because I think they realized, one, they've got a virtual metric ton of food. So they're not hungry. And it's not feeding time. Of course, I just gave everybody fresh water, and you can probably hear the fans running because it is hot. So everybody just got fresh, cool water. And yeah, they were relaxed. So even though they're super loud and super vocal a lot, they're perfectly fine. They're transitioning great. The big boys aren't bothering with them. The little guy is pooping, so hey, he's definitely processing. They're hanging together. They're not necessarily snuggling, but of course it's 80 plus degrees and humid, so I wouldn't be snuggling either. And we're just waiting patiently for the next transition. Finn, you look so goofy with your hair like that. You realize that, right? I mean, I don't know what he's got going on the top of his head here. He rubbed all his bangs off, which are things that bucks do. And they're growing back, but they're growing back with this wild cowlick thing that's happening. I'm so glad he's already a master champion because right now he looks ridiculous. Thorn's getting some hair back though, so I'm happy about that. And it's growing in beautifully. It's taking a long time. We've had him since what, September last year? Yeah, it would have been September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So like 9 months. And you know, what he looks like now is like a master champion who had a trim versus a master champion who was sort of shaved up. So it's coming back, but it'll probably be another year before it has the full length on it. And that's why these guys aren't quite fiber animals yet, because of that slow growth. If they're going to be used as fiber animals, that growth has to be much more than a couple inches a year. It has to be in order for it to make any kind of economic sense. But I've talked about that before. No need to talk about that again. This was really supposed to be an update on our little boys. But as you can tell, little boys are doing just fine. It's interesting. Now, Voodoo is a little bit younger than his buckling friend or his weather friend here. Just a couple of weeks. But the difference in how their coat has come in and how they've filled out is significant. You know, our weather actually has much more hair on him than Voodoo does. The hair on his head is longer. He's got feathers coming in on the back of his legs. You can kind of see them sticking out. Where Voodoo doesn't have any of that going on yet. He just has a cute tush right now. But now that I have him in with Phineas, it's amazing how similar their markings are. Voodoo has 2 black spots on his back, the back of his neck. And as those black spots grow length in the coat, they're going to turn into those stripes that Phineas has on his neck. So those couple of black stripes will come in. Voodoo has the same eye patches that Phineas has, the same ear color. So that striping that Phineas has with the black down his face and then the neck collar, and then the neck striping. Voodoo's going to have all of that going on. Voodoo's legs are darker. Phineas has white spots on his legs that Voodoo does not have. So that's going to be pretty much the only difference between the two of them in terms of marking. They both have that funny black spot on their butt, which is hilarious because it really does make their testicles stand out quite nicely. What are you going to do? That's the way it works sometimes. So yeah, it's been kind of fun to compare them, and it'll be fun to watch him grow. Now, Voodoo, of course, has his chinny chin chin coming in. He does have his top coat, his top hair coming in, but his body is not as fuzzy and not as hairy as the Weather, who is a few weeks older than him. So, there's definite maturity that has to happen here. And I'm watching him pretty closely, right? Because I'm thinking about the show in October already and how he's going to do in comparison to how he did as a little guy. So it'll be fun to see, but we've got lots of time for that. So that is the update. Our little boys are not as vocal today as they were yesterday, and hopefully that will continue to tamp down a little bit because woof, they were really vocal. But they still hollered a bit as I was coming down to see them, so they're not done yet. The moms are long since done answering them, though, so that probably has helped settle them down. They're not getting a response from the moms anymore. That, and it's just they've had some time to settle in. But I'll leave them to their afternoon snack. I might go get one of my own afternoon snacks before I start my afternoon work. So until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.